These reels seem to get a ton of hate on social media, and we see it in the comments on our YouTube videos, and people just seem to hate, but nobody's ever asked us, like, what are your thoughts on these reels? Have you had any issues with these reels? What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in here. I just wanted to jump on here and do a real quick kind of informal video here. We're not going to do a bunch of fancy edits and cuts here. We're just going to sit back and give you guys our thoughts on Piscifun reels. These reels seem to get a ton of hate on social media, and we see it in the comments on our YouTube videos, and people just seem to hate. But nobody's ever asked us, like, what are your thoughts on these reels? Have you had any issues with these reels? So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about these. So we have been using the 300 size Alijoz for 6 or 7 years. We bought like 7 or 8 of these over the course of the last 6 or 7 years. And this one in particular is the only one that I've actually ever been able to break and blow up, if you will. And even then it still functions as intended. But there's some gear issues in this particular one. This is one of the originals. I have never done a lick of maintenance on this particular 300. The 300s have been absolute rock stars. They've received very little scrutiny on social media, and that is not the case for the 400 size reels. So to give you a little bit of background on the 400 size reels, there's been 3 generations up to this point. Gen 1 and Gen 2, they were named the Alijoz, and then Gen 3 has been rebranded to Alinox with kind of a nod to e-socks, if you will. So let's talk about each generation and the issues that were had, and basically what Piscifun did to try and improve upon the reel each season. So this one here, this is a Gen 1 400 Piscifun Alijoz high gear. This is one of the unicorns, if you will, that has never really had any of the major issues. So the 3 main issues that Piscifun ran into with the Gen 1 400 was they had the handle was a little bit too thin. So on hook sets, you know, when folks are palming the reel and they go to set the hook, they pull with both hands. They don't even realize it, but they actually use the handle to help set the hook. The handle would bend a little bit, so they ended up beefing it up. On this one, this is actually a Gen 2 handle that I had laying around. We finally bent the handle, the original handle on this Gen 1. Last year on Eagle Lake, I believe Levi or Tor, one of the two, bent it on a hook set finally. So I replaced it with a Gen 2 handle that I had laying around. The other 2 issues that Piscifun ran into was the thumb bar here. When you go to cast and then re-engage the reel, you would run into issues where that thumb bar wouldn't return. It's called a return clutch issue. And basically what you'd have to do is you'd have to flip it up with your thumb. This particular Gen 1, like I mentioned, is a unicorn. I never ran into that issue with this Gen 1. So I keep this one kind of around as a backup. The third issue that Piscifun ran into was a little bit of under-lubrication on the spool bearings in here. So when you go to cast, the reel would scream a little bit. That can be pretty easily overcome. We'll actually demonstrate how to lube that here in just a minute, which I'll touch on with the Gen 3 here. But those were kind of the 3 issues. The handle would bend, the return clutch issues on the thumb bar, and then a little bit of under lubrication on the spool. Like I said, this one's a unicorn, never had an issue, keep it as a backup. The other, moving on to Gen 2 now. With Gen 2, they fixed the handle issue. So they beefed up the handle, and it's pretty tough to bend and break this handle now. But unfortunately, with the Gen 2, they still ran into the return clutch issue, as well as the under lubrication from the factory on the spool bearings. And it was funny because I was one of the first people to actually get the Gen 2, and I was really excited because I love the Gen 1. If we could just fix that return clutch issue, it would be an awesome reel. And I got them, and I was actually down in Iowa. You may have seen the 7 Fish Day video that we filmed down there. And it was on day 3 when all of a sudden, intermittently, I'd cast out and I'd go to re-engage and nothing would happen. And I'd have to flip it up with my thumb. And it only occurred here and there. So I instantly got in contact with Piscifun. I said, hey guys, I think we still have an issue here. They had me send the reel back. They could not replicate it. And what actually ended up happening was it became an issue where after several days of fishing in a row, if there was heavy moisture, rain, dew overnight, and you were in moisture-rich environments, if your line was throwing a lot of water up on the reel and stuff, basically it was an issue with moisture in the grease, and it would prevent the return clutch from engaging. As you can see now, this reel's been sitting around all winter. I haven't used it yet this year, and it works just fine. But if I were to go fish with this reel for 3 or 4 days, I'd run into issues where I'd be flipping that thumb bar up. You could see in some of our Eagle Lake footage from last year. So a little bit disappointing there. And then I did run into issues on this one with the spool bearing screaming a little bit when I'd go to cast, which again is an easy fix. We'll talk about that in just a second here. So then with the Gen 3 Alinox, Piscifun still maintains that beefed up, bigger handle, and they have fixed the return clutch issues. It's been redesigned, and I have been putting 4 of these brand new Alinoxes through the paces for about the last month and a half. Heavy fishing, multiple days in a row. And in particular, this one here, this has been my blade reel so far this season, and it has held up wonderfully. I have had no issues with a bent handle or the return clutch. The only issue I ran into on this one is it started to scream a little bit when I'd go to cast it, which probably isn't surprising. I've been driving down a lot of gravel roads with my boat. It's been a very dry spring. There's a lot of dust in the air. It's no surprise that, debris and stuff is getting in there. And just from the factory, there probably isn't quite enough lubrication. So Piscifun has fixed 2 of the 3 issues. And the last one isn't really an issue. It's just a nuisance, if you will, right? So let's go through how to lube that, because I think, from my seat, taking a step back here, the 2 major issues have been addressed. The other one is just a maintenance issue. Would we like to see a little bit of more lubrication from the factory? Sure. I've already reached out to Piscifun, gave them my feedback. It's interesting, as the company grows and evolves, they are leveraging their pro staff to provide feedback and provide R&D feedback and stuff. And I immediately sent it to them and said, hey, I've got one of the 4 that I've been using heavily. It's starting to scream on the cast. We should look at increasing the lubrication directly from the factory. They've been receptive to that. I don't know if there's a fix in the works. So in the meantime, I think you can buy with confidence. I'm going to show you really quickly how to do this. It's super easy. So there's basically a couple things we're going to lubricate here. And what you're going to need to do this is Penn reel oil. I'm sure you could buy any reel oil off of Amazon. I'll include a link in the description below to this particular reel oil. You're gonna need a little bit of reel oil, and you're gonna need a flathead screwdriver. I actually have a full-blown reel maintenance kit. I didn't even break it out for this because this is such an easy fix. So what we want to oil on this, there's a couple things here. So the spool tensioner knob here, you want to pop that off. You just loosen it. So this is what you would use to adjust the spool tension to prevent backlashing. Basically, you just turn that counterclockwise. Pop it off. Probably a little hard to see down in there, but there's just a little, it's like a shaft or a spindle. Help if I take the cap off this. Then what we're gonna do is just put a drop of oil on that. It's gonna settle down that shaft, down into the bearing there. And then we're just gonna replace the cap on that. And hold it vertical here for just a second so that that oil can settle down in to the bearing in there. And then what I like to do is kind of tighten it almost all the way and then back it off a couple turns. And when you get back out on the water, you just got to remember to double check that so you avoid backlashes if that's set where you need it to. Okay, so that is step number 1. Now what we're gonna do is, because we're just worried about the spool bearings on this and preventing the reel from screaming. We're not going to take the side plate off here. We're not going to remove the handle. We're not going to access any of the gearing that you would use when you're reeling. What we're going to do here is we're actually going to loosen this little screw right here. Hopefully you can see that. And that's going to allow us to pop this side cover off on the opposite side of the reel, where we can pull the spool out and then lubricate all the bearings and whatnot in there. So all I'm going to do here is just turn the reel handle so that I can access with the screwdriver without any obstruction. Turn to the left, counterclockwise, and you can loosen it by hand. And this is a retained screw, so it won't come out of there. It's all the way loosened. It's in there. But now what I can do is I can take this side cover up, so towards the top of the reel, twist it up, and then pull it straight out. Okay? And it helps if you turn the reel like this, so that your spool stays in there, but then this cover comes off, and you can kind of see, got all your magnets in there that you can use to adjust the knob on the side here to prevent backlashing, and then you can see the bearing in there. All right, now we're gonna pull the spool out. I'll flip this around so you can see. Spool comes out, there's a little spindle or an axle there, and all we're gonna do to lube this is down in the reel here, you can see that opening, that hole in there. We're gonna put a drop or two of oil down into that. Okay, I'm gonna set that reel off to the side. Kind of hard to show how that's done. And then I'm just gonna put a drop of oil directly on the spindle here and the bearing down here. I usually do it on two sides of it, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually turn the reel here in a second and allow that oil to kind of set where it needs to. Flip it upside down, put a drop of oil on that spindle. Then we're gonna take the cover, put a drop of oil down in the opening and then on the bearing itself. Probably a little hard to see. Now we're just gonna replace this back into the reel. And you'll be able to tell when it kind of sets in. There's a little cotter pin in there, or a little, I'm blanking on the name of it. There's just a little pin in there that lines up, and it'll set down in there. And then we're going to basically bring this cover back, line it up on the spool. It's gonna sit just a little bit above, see it, the lip right here, and then you're just gonna snap it back down into place so it sits flush, everything sits flush. And then I like to hand tighten the screw on the side here to get it started, and that just holds the cover on. And then I'm gonna rotate the handle, tighten that baby up. You don't wanna over tighten it really. So once it's snug, just give it another quarter turn. She's not going anywhere. And then the last thing we're gonna do here, since we got the oil out, is you can probably see your line guide there. I'm gonna get that right in the center. This is your line guide. The braid flows through that, so as you're reeling it, it's your level wind, right? It lays your line down perfectly flat on the spool. I'm just gonna put a drop of oil on each side of that, on the worm gear here, or in here. Then what we're gonna do is we are just going to start spinning, and this reel instantly feels brand new. It is buttery smooth, everything is properly lubricated. This will not scream anymore. And like I mentioned earlier, I think, guys, we can finally buy these Piscifun 400s with confidence. The thumb bar returns, the handle no longer bends, and if the only nuisance, if you will, is that it's a little bit under-lubed from the factory, that was legitimately a 3-minute job, and it took longer because I was filming it. If I was doing 6 or 7 of these, I could be done in 20 minutes or less. So really easy fix, just general maintenance on your stuff. Hopefully that helps. And if you guys are looking for reels for this season, check them out, give them a look. Maybe we'll do a review video at the end of the season on the Gen 3s and kind of provide our thoughts. Nobody's ever asked us if we've had any issues with the reels. You know, I wanted to come on here and talk about the issues we have had and what Piscifun's done to address it. What I like about Piscifun is They are the only real manufacturer I'm aware of that has their ear as close to the musky industry as possible. With a simple DM on Facebook, you can provide instant feedback back to the company, and they want to do a good job. You know, they sit right in that, you know, kind of price point budget real spot in the industry, but it's not because they're cheap. It's because they've eliminated the middleman, they've eliminated distribution, everything goes through e-com, and they're able to, you know, you're able to buy 3 of these for the cost of certain other reel brands. Some of those are more prone to failures than these have ever been. So something to keep in mind if you are looking for reels. Use a link down in the video description. Use our promo code down there. It'll save you a little bit of money, and you don't just have to buy musky reels. With that, you can buy anything off the Piscifun site, and it helps us out. It helps Piscifun out so they can continue to innovate and provide awesome products to the marketplace. So check them out. That's all I got for now. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this. We'll catch you on the next spot.